Luis, if you can, talk to us a little bit about how you got your start in the oil and gas industry.
The beginnings of my oil and gas career actually started in our dinner conversations as a family. My father was studying economics, specifically looking at oil and gas. My mother is in education, and so the interlink between education, energy, and Venezuela, which was where I'm from, kind of came up and up to the point that it created a healthy interest in it. That translated into my high school thesis being in oil and gas, which is actually still relevant today. It was about the subsidies of gasoline in Venezuela. Tragically, it's still relevant today. And then that also got me into my first job with ExxonMobil in Venezuela.
About the path that you've taken once you started working professionally, the path you took to get to where you are today.
So with ExxonMobil in Venezuela, in a man camp in the middle of nowhere, it was a field called Cerro Negro, extra heavy oil, and that got nationalized. And when it got nationalized, most of the people that were working there were asked to leave. And I was fortunate to be able to have Schlumberger offer me a job in Fort Smith, Arkansas, to become a frac engineer. And didn't really know what frac was at the time. Didn't really know where Arkansas was at the time. But it was just a massive opportunity that I actually didn't really appreciate it fully when I first started. Both from the standpoint of Schlumberger being a place that gives guardrails to enable you to grow expeditiously, to also the fact that it was in the advent of the shale revolution and being able to be exposed to that growth as well.
Talk to us a little bit about advice you may have for the younger generation. It sounds like you took a job and you, like you said, you didn't know everything about it at first, but you still took that challenge.
I think my head goes to being intentional. And coupling that with action. And so I think you need to think about why you're doing what you're doing, be thoughtful as to where you want that to head, and not overthink it, but act.
Talk to us about a challenge you may have seen in your career. I know you mentioned, moving, of course, to Arkansas, but talk to us about navigating roadblocks.
I think probably one of the hardest jobs I've managed is field service manager for Schlumberger, and in essence it's a description of middle management. And so in middle management you have employees that have needs, you have managers above that have needs, and customers, especially if you're in services, that have needs. And they can not necessarily overlap into a congruent action. And so you're always fighting from all fronts, above, sideways, and below, in trying to appease and move forward. And so I found that to be an exciting challenge that at a young age, Schlumberger allowed me to have, and learned a lot from it.
Very good advice there also. Can you talk to us a little bit about maybe maintaining work-life balance? I know that can be the million-dollar question for a lot of people. Do you have any advice there?
I think balance is a bit of a misnomer. I think it's better to be actually suited to be comfortable in the imbalance of life. And so if you couple that, or if you're able to have a good partner that keeps you honest, if you're able to hear each other, be it on the work and or on the personal life, as to the imbalances and how far to one side or the other you're at, that to me feels like a healthier way of managing it than this kind of elusive balance that to me doesn't seem to be a worthwhile goal in pursuing.
That makes a lot of sense, Luis. Thank you very much for your time, and we congratulate you on this honor as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And for more on honorees like Luis, you can find that information on heartenergy.com.